Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sparkling Conservative. I want to talk about student loans today. I want to start with this clip. I apologize. I had to shrink it down really small due to some words that were added on top that YouTube just will not like, that were not from the original. This is a post. I think it's at 3 points. For context, the original poster of this deleted it. She has 3 other posts that are clearly at the same series due to the outfit and in the car, which why TikTok's always in the car, I don't know. This liberal, as wackadoo as she is, by the way, she's a teacher, so yay. As wackadoo as she is, actually makes a few points I agree with, but today we're just going to talk about student loans. I want to start with this to highlight the absurdity, but we're just going to start with this and then talk student loans, which all up front, I actually have a few student loans. I'm actively a college student taking out more loans, but I'm educated about it. So let's dive right into this. And like I said, I just want to go through this because student loans is a big problem in this country. Left, right, whatever, it's a problem. So like, subscribe, and let's dive right in.
In light of the ultra-conservative Supreme Court's decision today, I just came on here to say that I will personally never be paying back my student loans. Never. I have not made one single payment. I will never make a single payment. The court's makeup is illegitimate. The court itself is the least democratic institution in all of American government, and therefore, I will never be paying my loans. I don't give a shit what they say. No, I'm not doing it. I didn't decide. When I was 18, I didn't decide to do that. Someone decided that for. I didn't even know what was going on. You think I could conceptualize that amount of money? No, no, absolutely not. No, I will never, never make a payment, and I don't give a fuck. I don't.
Okay, awesome. So we just watched that. Like I said, she actually made some valid points. And thankfully, I think watching these where they make a valid point, because I'm agreeing with the liberal, might make me sick to my stomach and be a weight loss plan. Not to fat shame anybody, not supporting any health choices, not a doctor, etc., etc. But the points, I mean, student loans are a huge problem in this country. The average borrower has about $40,000 in student loan debts. Private college, I mean, you go be a doctor, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And with what backup? I mean, I go to a car dealership. I walk into Lamborghini. They're going to run my credit and say no. If they're that tactful about it, they might call the cops for fraud and just boot you out, and for trespassing. But I walk into Honda and they're going to be like, okay, yeah, you've got a good job, you're qualified. I walk into a cell phone store and I say, I need a cell phone. I want an iPhone X plus whatever. And they're going to run my credit. And they're going to say, yep, you can afford to have this, or no, you can't afford comfortably, so we need money down to cover it, to ensure and protect ourselves. Student loans, in most cases, especially federal student loans, which the whole Biden student loan forgiveness program that the court struck down, was only for federal student loans. So, looking at federal student loans, there's next to no application verification process. I mean, like I said, I'm a student going to school on only federal student loans, and what those don't cover, I subsidize out of pocket from my job. So I'm not going for private student loans and whatnot. But my student loans, I fill out a form, submit my tax information. There's never a pull of my credit. There's never any of that. And yet, turn around and magically, oh, yep, here you go. Here's $10,000 a semester, 20,000, whatever it is, depending on where you are. And they're just like, yeah, okay, 18, no job, no history, nothing. Maybe pay us back. We'll see. We're the government. We don't care. But I go for a private loan, guarantee you they're going to look at every detail. And then, even worse with all that, those loans haunt you for everything else. If I make six-figure salary where I can afford that Lamborghini or go from the Honda to an Acura, I go in, they pull my credit, and they're like, you have student loans, debt to credit ratio, and all that. You can't really afford this. But at 18, the high schools, even before you're 18, are teaching go to college, take the loans, go to college, student loan, student loan, student loan, student loan. Most students go that route. A chunk get scholarships, grants, things like that. Grants, a whole other problem with subsidies from government. But it makes sense that there's a problem. And this person discussing that there's no consent there at 18. First off, person also happens to be LGBTQI plus 2SA, whatever the F it is nowadays. So, probably pro-trans students at younger ages, but hypocrisy, always a thing. But when you look at the student loan problem, there's no education in school about debt, finance management, none of that. I never had that. And I went to school, graduated 2009, before CRT and all that came into the school system. I was never taught any of that. I mean, there was maybe a class on finance, and I remember I had to take introductory accounting. So I can do a balance sheet, but I can't figure out if I can afford something. So it's a whole system designed to create a black hole of finance and debt. But then this person turning around saying, I'll never pay them back. I have no intent of paying them back, all because an illegitimate court that was not democratically elected, which, by the way, the court should not be democratically elected because then you get a politicized court. Arguably, we have that now, but we're not supposed to. And that's, yet again, another video. But in this case, this woman just obliterates her own arguments with student loan debt. You have to pay back any debt. Again, I buy that Honda, I buy that Acura, and I don't pay it. They come in the middle of the night with the tow truck. I go out to go to work the next day. My car's gone. I buy a house, don't pay it. Sheriff comes, boots me out of the house. That's a problem. The fact that it is harder in this country to get a cell phone or a car than it is to get a student loan that haunts you and hinders your ability to get a house, to get a car, to get a cell phone. That's the real problem. And again, I'm not disparaging college. I am a student. I'm a student doing it on student loans. But there needs to be a better method. You have to have a way for people to look and for the government or the schools to do an evaluation. I mean, my parents didn't have to co-sign my student loans. Okay, that should maybe be a thing. I mean, I've had to have a co-signer on a cell phone when I was 18. Why don't I need a co-signer to take out $50,000, $60,000 of loans? I mean, even today, I have a good job. I need a co-signer to buy a $100,000 car. I can afford it, but the bank says, all these student loans can't really afford it, so we need the co-signer. And I mean, for perspective on that, when I set up this YouTube channel, I bought some equipment, about $1,500 worth of stuff. I did that on credit because wasn't sure how it was going to go, wanted to spread the payments out. Made a responsible choice. Money's there, it's already paid off. But to do that, I applied, and they looked and said, yeah, he can afford this over this time. Okay, fine. Student loans, the argument is by doing this, they'll get a degree to help them advance. That doesn't work. I mean, my degree that I'm going for is political science. If I go from what I'm doing now in IT to political science, there is a huge pay drop where I wouldn't be able to afford my student loans. But what I'm doing in IT, I can afford my student loans. I can afford the car I have out in the driveway, which is not a Lamborghini, but it's not a Honda. So it's just this huge suck. And for this person who's a teacher to be campaigning saying, I will not pay my student loans and proud of it, all because they disagree with the courts and all of that, it's wrong. It's teaching bad morals, but it's exposing a bad system. I mean, if you can't fix the system that's broken, you can't solve the problem. I'm not calling for government's government run college like Canada has. I'm not calling for that. I am calling for education. During your freshman year of high school, teach the basics like on a credit card, you gain this much interest. Okay. Students are penalized in school. There's ways you could implement interest. I mean, teachers technically do it by taking away points if assignments are late. So there's ways you could teach interest and teach all of that to kids in school to get them prepared for the real life of student loans, car loans, credit card debt, mortgages. We're lacking that in the school system at the high school level, and then the college level makes it worse because there's no parental support to help there. So, again, I agree with her on a lot of this. The 18-year-olds are just signing their lives away with this. And I personally don't think that they're capable of making an informed decision. Like I said, when I re up my student loans each semester, it's 3 clicks. When I buy a car, it's 20 signatures and 4 hours of my time having them explain to me how the loan works and what the amortization is and what the total cost of the loan is going to be. It's forced on you. Like the car dealership, I tell them I know this because I trade my car often at the same dealership. By law, they have to tell me everything every time, even though we both know I know it. So why, when I need an extra 8 grand per semester, why is it just 1, 2, 3, accept, yay, done, and then I get an email a few days later saying, yep, your bill's been covered, you're good. Do you need money for books? Because we got extra if you need book money, because we'll cover that too under your student loans. So it's just a flawed system, and it takes advantage of kids. I mean, high school kids graduating should not be force educated to go to college. They should not be forced into anything like that, but they need to be given the education to go their own way and make a confident decision. I don't care if that's college. I don't care if that's trade school. I don't care if it's fry cook at McDonald's. I don't care if it's a military branch. Just make it so they can make that decision well informed. And guess what? We won't have people calling for student loan forgiveness because it's literally taxpayer redistribution. So just make it easy. Make the kids learn. And with that, thank you for watching. And please like, subscribe, comment down below. Agree, disagree. I love reading the comments. And again, just really curious to hear everybody's thoughts on this. So like, comment, subscribe. Sparkling Conservative. giving you the gay thoughts on the most conservative possible issues while still being sparkly. So, thanks again for watching. Have a great one, everybody.